Hello everyone. Today we're doing a review on my 2016 Nissan Versa CVT. Currently has 164 on it. Get ready to do a transmission drain and fill. I do it about every 20,000 miles, and so far so good. Transmission's still going. That's the weak point in these cars, is the CVT. And I have my own opinions on that, but that's how it is so far. Well, I'm in here real quick. Here's where I need to do some stuff, but everything's working good. Nothing's broken. I think if all the switches and knobs work. One issue is, it's probably common, is the plug. It broke and died. This one broke and died also. So I bought one online, but it works. It goes back in, but it's not the right size, as you see. So they're hard to find. So I just glued it, and works good now. Before it did, the little cap broke off. I think it's common, and then all the guts were exposed, and they just fell in the hole. Disappeared through the black hole. This one is still the original one. It spun around and got dirty, so it fell in the hole too. And I tried to replace it. About done to replace it. This one, you can see. There's no other plugs in the back, so what I did was I was going to put this one in that hole, but it didn't fit because of the recesses. This one right here, the recesses. And so I just, wired it up, drilled the hole, and put it in the back. So now there's a hole for the back. Never use it, but it's there. And yes, I know my car's dirty. I'm very lazy. I'm getting to it someday. Doing the transmission is about a month or two late because I'm just lazy, but that's how it is. Also, one thing I want to mention is the radio. You just cannot see the number. When it gets hot, even now you can barely see it. You can't see anything. See? But when it gets hot, forget it. You can't even see it. It died pretty quick, pretty early on. And also this, I did a video on that. We were on a trip, and it was like 18 degrees outside. This is a mechanical one, this is fine. It's not with the diodes. So what happened is it's really cold, so the plastic was like frozen. And I turned the knob. I always turn it soft and gentle. I always have. I turned it, and it wouldn't move. So I turned it harder, and it went pow. Now there's no, between here and there, there's no gears at all. I can barely get a little here, which doesn't give me much heat at all. If you see my video, you know what I mean. And this way, here, click. It gets cold enough that way, but the heat, no. If I really want heat, instead of lukewarm heat, I have to go under here. I'm gonna try and change that one day, maybe, but maybe not. It's not a big deal to me. Right under here, right. Can't see because of the light. Let me see if I can find it. Right there. See that black thing and the white thing? If I put my finger like this, I can just push it up. It's just a little. And see the reach like that. See? Watch it move. See? There, that's all the way. Then that's full heat. So if I really want full heat, then it's done. But it's just a design flaw. I'm not sure if they're all that mechanically hard to move, but that's the problem. So the teeth broke off, and it's done with. I have to take the whole dash off. I've seen other older cars, older models on how to take off the dash, but not this late model. I think like 2012 and stuff like that. But so one day I'll get to it to fix that, but maybe I won't. And it's not that big of an issue around here. And it's almost summer now, so I won't need heat anyway. So, but so far so good for that. That's how that is. Everything else in there is no problem in the car. See, I have my fluid here. I buy it online, cheap. Let's look for a deal somewhere and pick it up ahead of time. It's the engine. Around 100,000, I was going to change all the major components, like a water pump, belt, that dry pulley down there, some other stuff, and coolant service. But I really didn't think the car would last. The transmission would die. I thought, but it's still going. So I did it late, like 150,000. But I changed the water pump, the pulley, the belt, The main pulley, crankshaft pulley, I didn't do anything. There's a big ring around it, because it's a two-piece design, but I didn't do anything about that. The motor mount here is a little cracked, but it's okay. There's a lot of play in the front. My mechanic was to work on it, and I got the ubiquitous screws. Yay! But I'm trying to think of what it's called. I'm forgetting. The low control arm, I guess it's called, this thing. The bushings are a little worn, and this one's a little split, but it's, I mean, the car's old and isn't worth. I may get done, I may not. I'm not sure. As you can see, all the boots are original. I think it's original in the car. The boots look good, so that's good for this mileage. That's good. So there's a lot of play in the shafts, but I think that's normal with this model, I think. So I kind of just I drive smooth. That's why. I change the oil every 5,000 miles, synthetic filter too, and that's important. It just started burning oil. I think I burned like a half quart or close to a quart in 5,000 miles. So that's all it burns. So it's not bad. I'm gonna take this plug and let the oil drain. That's the transmission plug. There's a little screw inside I'll show you that you need to remove also. Some people remove, like I had a service done before and they removed this is the cooler. They remove the line and drain it that way, but it's messy and time consuming. And I'm in a hurry. Like I say, I don't have a lot of time. So that's what I'm gonna do right now and get to it. The drain plug for the transmission is a 19 millimeter. Yay. So just put your pen under it and unscrew it. It all comes out nice. I'm gonna check the color. See, it's pretty green still. That's about 20,000 miles, so it's not that bad. It should be level. That's the way you're supposed to do it for maintenance. But my driveway is really sloped, so too bad. But as you see, draining some out. You get about half the fluid, I guess, when you do that. So that's why I do it so often. And fluid's cheap, transmissions and engines are not. So change your oil and transmission when you're supposed to. You see, this is pretty green and pretty clean. I started noticing a little difference in the way it's working, so that's why I'm doing it. And since I need glasses, I can't see, but I showed this before. There's the drain plug is there. Supposedly it's a dipstick. Supposedly, right there's the bottom of it. It's really hard to get off and get back on. You know, I have small little hands, so it's easier for me, but it sucks big time. There's no dipstick in this truck, so this car, so you have to use. You're supposed to use the computer at the dealership, but there's another way. You fill it up. Most of what we do is drain out the fluid that we're doing, still draining, and then just refill exactly what you took out, and you're done. Assuming they fill it up correctly in the first place. So, but I know it's correct over time because, yay. There's a little plug inside here. You can see it too. It takes a hex wrench. To get the fluid out, you got to take that, so you can see it inside. Take that bolt off, and then a lot of fluid comes out. Just remove that's the level setting for the transmission. You have it level and fill it until it starts dripping out, and let it run, and it'll drip like this. When it gets about to there, then you plug it up, and that's the correct level. I had my transmission done at the dealership, and they way overfilled it because they use the method with the lines of the transmission cooler, and that's a quick way, the shortcut way, because they never touch this. You know, they're supposed to. I pay a lot of money for them to do it. I pay $400 for them to service the transmission. And they change the fluid, but they did the quick, dirty way. And there was like fluid all up in here. That's how I knew how they did it, because all up in here. Big mess. But it's not what I paid for, but... And they wonder why I never came back. Because I paid for them to do it correctly. The correct method is to drain it, fill it, on the computer, read the temperature, and then drop it, fill it on the computer a certain time and then drop it and fill it and you're done. But they didn't do that. It takes a long time. So that's why I just do mine earlier and get it done that way. But this is it was no fun. You got to cook from the bottom to take that cap off. That's the easiest way. Some people remove the battery tray, the battery and everything else. Not me. That's too much work. So I found a okay way to do it. Okay, that's how I do it. You see that's the drain. That's the supposed to be a dipstick, but there isn't. Just a little cap. You need to get a screwdriver or something skinny. Like I say, from the bottom is easier. The top is really hard. You just stick way up there and under. I can't even see. I'm totally blind, so it's like blurry to me. But right there, there's a lip. You got this metal piece here. You got to push in, and the cap should pop off. I usually use a screwdriver with this. I'm trying with this thing now. You see it move. This is the cap right there, and you gotta push this in. This will force it. It should pop right off. I'm trying a screwdriver. I usually use a screwdriver. I'll try that right now. Problem is that when it pops off, it usually goes flying someplace. So you can take the battery out and do that the hard way, or try and do it this way. But sorry, I'm plugging the light, but it's hard to do it. It's really a two-hand job, but so you can do it one hand. You get this under the thing, push up and twist. There it goes. Bye bye. Just missed my head, but see, it's gone now. See, we'll run into the oil, but it came out. But that's how you do it. And putting it back is no fun either. I have small little hands, so I could barely do it. It's like a feeling balancing act, as you'll see, but that's how you get the dipstick off from the bottom. That's how it's done. Okay, that's done. So now we need a hex wrench. This is a bicycle tool I have. I used to work for a manufacturer of bicycles, and I got it there. It's a park tool. It's for bicycles, but my arms are getting tired. I think it's a 5. So you stick it in the hole. It's locked. Turn. Shouldn't be that tight, but there it goes. Correct. So you keep spinning, the oil's going to come out, and it's going to be a big disaster, as you'll see. There it goes. Yay. I didn't remove the thing yet, so it's been messy, but that's I get the rest of the fluid out. Like I said, doing it this way is about half the amount in the drain pan, but it's good enough. If you keep replacing it a lot, then you're good. And some people take off the cooler and clean that and stuff, and I've never done that before. Never will, so it's not a issue. Keep your fuel fluid clean. You shouldn't have to do that. But I'm gonna try to get that screw out so I've got the rest of the fluid. See it coming out right now. And there goes the rest of the fluid. Gotta take it all the way out, so it's no fun. It's super messy and yucky. Yuck. I do have gloves, but I'm just not wearing them right now. There it goes. See, now you can see the little darkness. It's a little dirty, the oil. It's about 20,000 miles, but that's how you do it. Just let it drain out. It's about 2.5, 3.5 quarts. Comes out, but you can see it's a little dark. So it's only 2,000 miles. Some people do like 60, 70, 80,000 miles. That's the problem. And then it wears out your transmission. So the more you do it, the better. We'll see what we get. For a long time, I was using a funnel to fill it up. A blue one, which I don't know where it went, but real skinny. And there disappeared. But usually a pain putting the fluid back in. So I bought this on, I think, on eBay. Took a while to get it from China, but it's real long and skinny. It works great. This fits right in the hole. You gotta watch it because it doesn't fill too fast. So you gotta really watch your levels. Make sure you don't put too much, but it's way down there. Hard to see. It's about there. That's where the hole is. I don't know if you can see it, but It's not. It's trying to remove these pipes and wires, hoses, but this thing almost goes in. No problem. Just gotta get the right angle. It does bend. It flexes. See? Makes it a little easier to do. That's how I do it. And as you can kind of see, it's in the hole. Okay, you can see this is the dipstick. You can call it that. It's a dipstick thing, but no dipstick. You can see the cap. You need to press in there to get it out. That's how you get it out. This is this. I think it's called a siphon tube, or it has some dopey name. I forget what it's called, but it's some weird name to put stuff in. Can't think of it right now, but that's what it is. And it sets the level of the transmission. So this is, so you put the hex bolt in there to get it out. The level of the transmission goes up to here. So when it's just starting to drip out of there, when you're running at temperature, that's full. But like I said, the other guy at the dealership overfilled it and didn't do any damage or anything. So I don't think it's that critical. You know, I guess having a little too much is not a big deal, but that's an issue. So now it's pretty much a slow drip. So that's about all we're gonna get. I could still try to start the engine for a second to let the pump some more out, but it's not a big deal because I'm in a hurry today. So we put the thingy, we want to call it, back in. Just screw back in by your hand. Then get your hex wrench, and the first time I took it off, it was really tight, and I don't see a point because the bolt is holding it in. So why would you put it so tight? But you know, that's how dealership, that's how we make it. But I get it all the way up till it stops. Which is there, and just a little more torque. That's all I need. Good enough. It's not going anywhere, and if it did come out, it's not going to fall anywhere because it's threaded in, so the bolt will hold it in. And just get the drain bolt, put that back. I usually use a new washer. Should I? Not this time. I have new washers in the trunk, but I'm like, so I'm lazy right now. I feel like it. I never had one leak. I've used it before a couple times, but you're supposed to, the correct way is to put a new washer. So I want to hear it. And if it does leak, I'll just drain it into a clean container and put it in the washer. But it never has, so that's not a big issue to me. I buy them online or at the dealership for, you know, buy 10 or just have a whole bunch. This one and the oil drain plug right there are pretty much the same size, so he's the same washer. It's like a brass washer. So every time I service it, and I don't put that tight either, never have one come loose. So I should torque it and have the torque wrenches and everything, but like I said, I never had any bolt come loose. These engines don't shake. No vehicle I ever had them come loose. I've had plenty of oil drain bolts stripped at dealerships and quick change places because they use a torque wrench or torque it too tight because they're afraid of it opening. And then you don't find out until later when you try to do a change and the bolts are stripped. Oops, that's not their problem because you're long gone. Just, you know, 6 months later, and good luck proving it. So that's why I really don't trust those quick change places or anything else, because they stripped my bolts many times over in my life, and I just don't trust them anymore. Screw them. So it's easy to do it yourself. Just do it yourself and save the hassle. If you keep a car for a long time, then it matters, but otherwise, no. Okie dokie, this is my fluid. It's a little bit of engine oil mixed in, but because it's use the same pan, but you can see what I mean. It's time. It's, you know, just do it more often because oil is cheap. It's not really cheap. It's like, you know, $8-10 a quart, but it's cheaper than a blown up transmission or blown up engine. So that's just my opinion. And again, it's just my opinion. But for your transmission fluid and other fluids too, just use the dealer brand. Some people try to cheap out and use another brand or whatever, but I said just stay with came with the car. My mechanic, I forgave him already. But in my excursion, searched the transmission, but put the wrong fluid. And we were on a hot trip on a hot day, and it was boiling over and making a big cloud of smoke behind us. And I couldn't figure out why, but eventually I did. We got home. I could have destroyed the transmission, put the wrong fluid in there, but luckily I think it's no damage, I think. So that's important. So ever since then I do it myself. Thank you. But just use the correct transmission. This is NS3. Especially with CVTs and other transmissions, use the correct fluid. I got an owie. Ow. Right there. Ouch. That's when the drain plug came out, went flying. The screwdriver went flying. Like I said, it pops out and goes flying and hurt my finger. But anyway, that's important. Just use the correct fluid. Just, like I said, look for a deal, like Scotty says. And when you see a deal, just buy a whole bunch of it. And you're done. Just keep it on hand. Because my phone doesn't fit too well, they're perfect. Pour it slow and keep checking. Make sure it's not dripping on the ground, because I've done that before. My drain stick on the fill stick on the excursion broke off, and I didn't know it. So I'm happily pouring fluid in there, and I had like under the car, and there's like a big puddle, a whole bunch of it, like a couple quarts of transmission fluid went on the ground because it broke off. I didn't know it. So I learned something. I found that, but just pour nice and slow. We're doing the 1 in, 1 out method, and so I'll show you what I mean. So I just pour a quart. See how green it is? I see the color. The other one's a little darker. This is how it's supposed to look brand new. And just take a quick look. No leaks, so that's good. It's not leaking out of the drain hole, so out of the fill. We're filling it up. Just put the fluid in. This is the way I do it: 1 in, 1 out. So keep checking to make sure it's not leaking, because that would suck. See, nice blue color. It's like a greenish blue. You see a difference in the color right now when I finish. So that's dripping down there. 1 in. Here, put the old fluid back in there. So 1 in, 1 out. And when this is done, then you're done. You know what I mean? That's how we do it. Now, hopefully you can see the difference in color. Just with one hand, it won't be easy, but see how dark it is? This has a little bit of engine oil in this, because it's the same pan, but you get the idea. This stuff gets dirty quick, so you're better off just doing it early. And this drain and fill at the dealer is about $250 for this car, and full fluid exchange is $400. And that's fine. That's the way I did it the first time, but just drain and filling is good enough. Just do it twice as often. You know what I mean? So this takes about 2.5 quarts drained out. Like I said, the half the transmission fluid still in the engine, in the transmission. That's fine. You know, you change it twice as often, so it's never totally clean, but it's way better than waiting till 78,000 miles or more until you change it. Then it's damage is already done. So you're constantly putting new oil, new fluid, so it's better. But it's about 2.5. So that's about it. Now it's the unfun part. Bring this back. I have really small hands, so it helps, but I have to remove this hose. Give more room. Stick my hand down there, way down there to reach it. The thing is, though, I have to, in the room to hold the cap like this and put it, I have to bounce this thing like this between my fingers, get over the hole, and then drop it. And hopefully it lands like this. And then it's either just push down on this and put it in, but it's no fun. The more you do it, the easier it gets for me, but it's no fun, but that's what it takes. And that's it. Be all done for another 20,000 miles, hopefully. See, it's like an experiment to see how far this CVT will go. A new one's about $4,000. And at that point, I decide if I'm going to just junk the car, or because the engine's still good, or put a new transmission. We'll see. But that's about it. So put this thing in and be done. Everybody, thanks for watching. Have a great day.